The bullet shattered the window before Lucky's sentence finished. December 3rd, 1935. Broome Street, Lower Manhattan, 7:42 p.m. 1 second, Lucky Luciano was giving directions to his driver about tomorrow's meeting with Maya Lansky. The next second, 3 bullets tore through the driver's side door and hit Tommy Wheels Romano in the chest. Tommy Romano, Lucky's driver for 7 years, 34 years old, former mechanic who knew every street in Manhattan, loyal to the point of stupidity, had turned down better jobs to stay with Lucky. 3 kids at home waiting for him, and he'd just taken 3 bullets meant for Lucky Luciano. "Get down," Tommy gasped, his hands still on the wheel, blood spreading across his white shirt. "Boss, get." The car swerved, hit a parked truck, metal screaming, glass shattering. Lucky was thrown against the back seat, head ringing. When he looked up, Tommy was slumped over the wheel, blood pooling on the leather. The driver's window was gone. 3 holes in the door where bullets had punched through. Maya Lansky was running toward the car from the restaurant they'd just left, gun drawn. Frank Costello right behind him. 2 more shots rang out. From a rooftop across the street, Maya dove behind a parked car. Lucky kicked open the back door, crawled to the front, got his hands under Tommy's shoulders, pulled him into the back seat. Tommy's eyes were open, unfocused, blood on his lips. "Tommy, look at me. Stay awake." Tommy's hand grabbed Lucky's jacket, weak, shaking. His voice was barely a whisper, close enough that Lucky could smell copper and gunpowder. "Boss, they knew. Your schedule. Don't talk. Save your strength. 4 men. Rooftop. I saw before." Lucky's mind was racing. 4 men. Rooftop. Knew the schedule. Inside job. Tommy. Who told them? Who knew we'd be here? Tommy's grip loosened. His eyes found Lucky's, focused for just a second. Check. The warehouse. Wednesday. 4 men. Planning. Then his hand fell. His chest stopped moving. Tommy, Wheels, Romano died in Lucky Luciano's arms at 7:49 p.m. on December 3rd. 7 years of loyalty. 3 kids at home. Dead because someone wanted Lucky dead and got Tommy instead. Lucky lowered Tommy gently onto the seat. His hands were covered in blood. His shirt was soaked. He could hear sirens approaching. Maya pulled open the door. "Charlie, we have to get me everyone," Lucky said. His voice was flat, cold. "Everyone who knew I'd be here tonight. Every name, every connection. I want them in a room in 2 hours." Maya saw Tommy's body, saw the blood, saw Lucky's face. "It's done." To understand what happened next, you need to understand what Tommy Romano had just done. In their world, a driver wasn't just an employee. A driver knew everything, heard every conversation, knew every location, saw every meeting, could destroy you with one phone call to the wrong people. Tommy Romano had driven Lucky for 7 years and never once betrayed him, never talked, never sold information, never asked for more money than he was worth. And now Tommy was dead because someone had targeted Lucky and Tommy had been in the way. But Tommy's last words weren't about his family, weren't about pain, weren't begging for help. They were intelligence. 4 men, Wednesday, warehouse, planning. Tommy had died giving Lucky the information he needed for revenge, and Lucky Luciano never forgot a debt. Frank Costello waited until they were in the safe house before he spoke. "Charlie, this was Inchaib Tucello," organized Lucky interrupted. He was washing Tommy's blood off his hands. The water ran red. "This was someone who knew my schedule, knew which car, knew which route. Inside job. Has to be." Lucky dried his hands, looked at his reflection in the mirror. Blood on his collar. Tommy said 4 men. Wednesday, warehouse. He saw them planning this. Maya leaned against the doorframe. "So we find the warehouse, find the 4 men, find who hired them." "No," Lucky said quietly. "We already know who hired them. This was professional. 4-man team, rooftop position, escape route planned. Only 3 organizations in New York can coordinate that." "Maranzano's people," Frank said. "Maranzano's dead," Maya reminded him. "We killed him 2 years ago." "His people aren't," Lucky said. "They've been quiet, reorganizing, waiting for an opening. Tonight was their move, so what are we doing?" Lucky turned from the mirror, looked at his 2 closest advisors. "We're making this personal," he said. "Tommy died in my arms. His last words were giving me intel to find his killers. I'm not letting that go. We find all 4 shooters, we eliminate them, and we send a message to whoever hired them." "When?" Frank asked. 96 hours, 1 shooter every day. I want them to know it's coming. I want them to run. I want them to realize that killing Tommy Romano was the biggest mistake they ever made. Tommy Wheels Romano's funeral was the next morning. His wife Maria stood at the graveside with their 3 children, 7, 9 and 12. Too young to understand why their father wasn't coming home. Lucky stood 20 feet back, didn't approach the family, didn't offer condolences, just watched as they lowered Tommy into the ground. After everyone left, Lucky walked to the grave, stood there alone. They got you instead of me, Tommy. You took 3 bullets that had my name on them, and your last words weren't about your family. They were about finding the men who did this. Lucky pulled something from his pocket, a photograph. Tommy and Lucky 7 years ago, the day Tommy started driving. Both of them young, both of them smiling. He placed it on the fresh dirt. 96 hours, Tommy. 4 men. I'm going to find every single one. And when I'm done, everyone in New York will know what happens when you touch my people. Lucky left the cemetery, got in a different car, different driver. The hunt had begun. Day 1, December 4th. Maya had found the warehouse, abandoned building in Red Hook, signs of recent activity, cigarette butts, 4 different brands, rope marks on the floor where they'd practiced tying knots, shell casings from practice rounds, and a name scratched into the wall in pencil. Victor, the rifle, Donovan, Maranzano's best shooter, had killed 9 men from distance. Never missed, never caught. Lucky had his first target. They found Vic at his apartment in Brooklyn, 6:47 a.m., same time Tommy had died the day before. Vic answered the door in his underwear, saw Lucky, reached for the gun under his pillow. Albert Anastasia put 2 bullets in Vic's chest before he could grab it. Vic fell, breathing hard, blood spreading. Lucky walked over, stood above him. You shot my driver yesterday, Tommy Romano. Remember him? Vic's eyes were defiant. Wasn't supposed to hit him, but you did, and his last words were helping me find you. So this is for Tommy. Lucky nodded to Albert. 1 more shot, clean, professional. Victor, the rifle, Donovan died at 6:52 a.m., 1 day after Tommy Romano. 1 down, 3 to go. Day 2, December 5th. Carmine Crow Russo. Spotter, identified targets and called shots. They found him at a bar in the Bronx. 7:42 p.m., exact time Tommy died 2 days ago. Crow tried to run, made it to the alley. Maya's men were waiting. They brought him to Lucky in the car. You identified my car, gave Vic the signal. Crow was crying. They paid me. I didn't know. Tommy Romano had 3 kids. Did you know that? Crow said nothing. This is for Tommy. They found Crow's body in the East River the next morning. 2 down, 2 to go. Day 3, December 6th. Paulie Fast Marino, the driver, got the team to the rooftop, got them away after. They grabbed him at a garage in Queens. 7:42 p.m. At the warehouse, tied to the same chair they'd used for planning. Paulie finally talked. Frankie Bonacci, Maranzano's nephew. He coordinated everything. He's probably already run. Lucky nodded to Vito. Make it quick. They left Paulie's body with a note. 3 down, 1 to go. Tommy Romano sends his regards. Day 4, December 7th. Frankie Bones. Bonacci was already gone. Empty apartment. Closed bank accounts. Last seen boarding a train to Chicago. But Lucky had connections everywhere. A phone call to Al Capone. Professional courtesy. I've got a problem coming your way, Al. Frankie Bonacci, Maranzano's nephew. He killed my driver. I want him. Capone's response was immediate. Give me 4 hours. 3 hours later, Frankie Bonacci was sitting in a warehouse in Chicago. Capone's men had grabbed him at Union Station. Lucky took a plane. First time he'd flown. Landed in Chicago at 6:30 p.m. At 7:42 p.m., exactly 4 days after Tommy died, Lucky walked into that warehouse. Frankie was tied to a chair, trying to look tough, failing. You killed my driver, Lucky said. He was in the way. His name was Tommy Romano. He had 3 kids. He drove me for 7 years. And his last words were helping me find you. So what? You're gonna kill me too? Eventually, Lucky pulled over a chair, sat down facing Frankie. But first I want you to understand something. You didn't just kill a driver. You killed a man who was loyal to me, who protected me, who gave me 7 years of trust. So when you kill someone loyal to me, you make it personal. And when things get personal, I don't stop at the shooter. I go after everyone. Lucky pulled out a folder. Photographs. 3 bodies. Vic, Crow, Paulie. 3 of your team. Dead in 3 days. Now it's your turn. Frankie's tough act crumbled. Please, I'll leave Chicago. I'll leave the country. You'll never see me again." "You're right," Lucky said. "I won't." At exactly 7:42 p.m., Frankie Bones Bonacci died in a Chicago warehouse. 4 days, 4 shooters, all eliminated. The story spread through New York's underworld like fire. Lucky Luciano's driver was killed by mistake. Lucky spent 96 hours hunting down all 4 shooters, eliminated them one by one. At the exact same time his driver died. Every day, the remaining Maranzano loyalists disbanded immediately. No leader, no coordination, no willingness to face Lucky after what he'd done. A week later, Lucky went back to Tommy's grave. Maria Romano was there with the children. Lucky approached, offered an envelope. "What's this?" Maria asked. "Tommy's pension, $50,000 plus $500 a month for the rest of your life, and college funds for all 3 kids. Tommy earned it." Maria's eyes filled with tears. "Mr. Luciano, Tommy died protecting me. Least I can do is protect his family." Lucky knelt down, eye level with the oldest child, 12 years old. Tommy's eyes. "Your father was the bravest man I knew. He didn't run, he didn't hide, and his last words were making sure I could find the men who did this. You remember that?" The boy nodded. Lucky stood, looked at Maria. "Anything you need, ever, you call me." He left before she could respond. Years later, someone asked Maya Lansky why Lucky spent 4 days hunting the shooters instead of just sending soldiers to do it. "Because Tommy died in Charlie's arms," Maya said. "And Tommy's last words were intelligence, not begging, not crying. Intelligence, that kind of loyalty. Charlie couldn't delegate that, had to be personal." "Did it send the message?" Maya smiled. "Nobody touched Charlie's drivers after that. Nobody. Because everyone knew, you kill one of Charlie's people, he doesn't send soldiers, he comes himself. And he doesn't stop until everyone responsible is gone." If this story showed you what loyalty means, hit subscribe. We're uncovering the moments when revenge became personal, when 4 days meant 4 targets, when one driver's last words started a systematic elimination. Turn on notifications. Lucky Luciano protected his people even after they were gone. Drop a comment. Would you have stopped at the shooters or gone after who hired them? Lucky Luciano, 1897 to 1962, the man who never forgot a debt, the boss who turned grief into precision,